Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Dribble Drive podcast. I am your host, Austin Renzer, talking all things Big Ten women's basketball. Thank you so much for all of those listeners who have downloaded our episodes, you've subscribed, whether that's to our YouTube channel, to our podcast feed. We really appreciate it. Give us a rating if you don't mind while you're listening. That helps us know how we're doing. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, stuff like Charlie Cream came on, gave us the summer bracketology, which was awesome. We've previewed teams like Michigan State, Oregon, UCLA, USC, Illinois, etc. A bunch of teams we've previewed already. Go back, listen to those. They're on our YouTube channel and the Back Home Network, as well as on our podcast feed. We've got plenty more previews coming up. We've still got the defending regular season champion Ohio State Buckeyes, Iowa, Michigan, Washington, etc. So plenty of teams. Every team will get a spotlight before we head into the start of the season. Today's spotlight, the team that I have been fortunate enough to be the closest to, that's the Indiana Hoosiers. It's time to talk Indiana women's basketball, and for that, we are joined by one of the assistant coaches on the Hoosier squad, Ali Patberg. Ali, thanks so much for joining us. How's your summer going?
Good. Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Great. We're certainly thrilled to have you here on the show, our first coach to be on the Dribble Drive podcast. You're heading into year 2 as a full-time assistant coach on staff. Year 3 is kind of a part of the staff. How much more comfortable do you feel as you're preparing for this season, maybe as prepared to last off season?
Yeah. I mean, just like anything, I've done in my life, it's the more you do it, the more I practice, the more I gain experience, the more confident I'm going to feel. The more time I have in to put the work in, I'm going to feel more confident. But, just being obviously, I played for IU. And so I played for Coach Moren and I loved it. But being on staff, just every single year, learning more about, what she, likes, what she doesn't, what I can do to make her job better. Again, you just gain more experience and understanding, and then you're going to be more confident. But it's been a joy for me. I've learned a lot. It's been challenging, but every day is a lot of fun.
What was that transition like for you? Your first year, you kind of serve in more of a support staff role. But what was that transition like? You're playing for Indiana, and then all of a sudden, now you're on the other side of things. You're on the coaching side, a little bit like what we're going to see Mackenzie Holmes go through being a graduate manager this year. But what is that like when all of a sudden your playing days are done and now you're on the coaching side?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That first year was a little difficult in terms of a lot of my teammates were still on the team. And so it was hard for me not to physically be out there just because I wanted to help them. Obviously, I couldn't help. I felt helpless. And, like you said, I was more of, support staff. And so for me, I was able to do a lot of different things that touched our program. And so that really helped me just gain a better understanding of how everything operates together, honestly, and what it requires, what it looks like from a manager's perspective, what it looks like from a director of operations perspective. And just, so I gained a lot of experience and understanding and just how it all works together. And that helps you, as a coach, and understanding and having patience and having a greater appreciation of everyone that touches our program. So that was great. And also just being able to be in the everyday, film room, the office with Coach Box, Coach Rhett, Coach Moren, and having an understanding of how, the X's and O's and what it looks like doing film and how to break down film. And so that first year was super important for me to essentially lay the foundation and what it was going to look like to be a coach and to work in especially our program and what that was going to require. And so it was great for that for me in learning and gaining experience. And then obviously last year I had more of a coaching role. And so, it's been great.
I can't believe the NCAA didn't give you an 8th year. They should have come
Yeah.
through, given you one more round and see if you could have kept going there. But you've been around this program now, since, gosh, is that the 17-18 season? It was your first one and you sat out for a year. But as you've kind of sat and soaked in Teri Moren's coaching style and Rat Wiersbe, who's been with her the entire way, what are some of the things that you've been able to learn from those two as you've kind of filled a lot of different roles from 2017 until now?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I was coached by both of them. Coach Moren, it's hard for me to express, my appreciation for her, just on a person level, just the heart she has for everyone around her, how she's genuine, she truly cares, she's passionate, she's such a hard worker, and everything that she asked of, whether it's us on staff or as a player, she's doing it with us, right? She's not, she's working just as hard, if not harder. And her expectations and standards for everyone is the same. And that's what I loved when I was a player. It was like, it didn't matter if you were number 15 or you were the best player on the team. She was going to coach you the exact same way. And that's how she is from a boss perspective. She's going to expect the same out of all of us, and is going to treat us the same and going to love us the same. And she's just, I don't know, she's great. And she as a coach, she's gonna raise her voice. But I think her biggest, strength is she believes so much. Whoever's on her team, she's gonna believe that, you can do anything. And that gives you just a different level of confidence, just working for her. It's like, she's going to trust you, and she has trusted me with certain things, and whether I've had experience or not. And that just, it's a confidence level that you don't get from anything else. And so I don't know, she's a fearless leader, and she's not afraid. She's tough. And like I said from the beginning, she's just a great person. And she cares more about who you are and, how you're doing. And that, in itself takes care of a lot of things, even as a player. Like, if you're cared for and all of that, like, you'll run through a wall for her. And so it's just been a blessing to be on staff and to learn from her every single day. And I'm just super thankful.
One of the things I've noticed just kind of watching practices and shoot arounds and whatnot is that it's not as if she's not supportive. Everything you just said is exactly what she is. You watch it, but occasionally she does, like you said, she's got to raise her voice. Right. She's got to tell somebody to do something wrong. Then you guys as a group of assistants come in and kind of say, hey, here's what she's talking about. This is what we need. Do you feel that kind of role, that kind of, okay, she just told them they're messing up, so now I got to kind of come in here and make sure they know what's going on? Have you kind of adopted that role over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, and it helps that I played, right? And Coach Moore talks about it all the time. Don't ever listen to my tone, listen to my message, because she might raise her voice, but you shouldn't, think too much about, her voice, her tone, right? We're on the court, like, it's competitive, we're trying to win. But the beautiful thing about Coach Moren is she cares. I mean, true love is when you're very honest with people, right? You tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And so, that's what I think what makes, when she does raise her voice, it's like, no, I understand that where she's coming from, and it's because she wants me to be great, and she cares about me. She wants me to be successful. She wants our team to be successful. And so it's not because she, wants to just get on you because it makes her feel good, right? There's a purpose. And she, because we're down there every day working with them, because Coach Moren, all of us care about our players and who they are as people. It's a lot easier to, when they're not working hard enough or they're not going hard enough in practice, it's like, no, that's not good enough. Right. And our players know where it's coming from and why we're saying what we're saying. It's because we want them to be as good as they can be. And so, as an assistant, it's just, we all have the same messages, right? And so our job is to, like I said, make her job easier, when there's confusion to help, whether it's Lene or whoever it is, like, this is what she meant. This is what she's saying, why she's doing something else. I'm trying to, help her in that regard. But there's not usually, ever a time where it's like, oh, Coach Moren's just yelling at us to yell at us, right? It's because she's trying to get us to be better, and because she cares. And so that's, true. You want honesty, right? If we want to all get better every day, and that's on staff, that's our players, and they know that.
Yeah, it is fun to watch her coach the team and the way that she does it. It is so interesting to me. But before we adjust to the team here, one of your former teammates, Keonna Worthen, now on staff as well. What's that reunion been like for you and Key?
Yeah, honestly, from day to day, it's like, I can't believe, you're on staff and we're working together. But also, I always had in the back of my mind that she would be here, just because she's family. She knows, what our culture, what our program's about. She's just one of the best people I know. Her heart, she wants everyone around her to be as good as they can be. She pours into everyone around her. She has a very contagious spirit and joy about her. That's one in a million. When she walks in the gym, it's just contagious. Her joy for life, right? Her joy for getting up every day and having this opportunity. And, I believe our entire team has realized, how great she is and the asset she is to our program and to our staff. And she knows basketball as well. And, she's just awesome. And I've loved it. And I think everyone around us, or everyone in our program, has as well.
I think it's going to be a great addition to the staff for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this 24-25 Hoosier team. I know that's what a lot of Indiana fans will be listening for. Is what are we going to see on the court this year? Let's start with what we're unfortunately not going to see, which is Mackenzie Holmes. She'll be there. She's going to be on staff, but she won't be on the floor anymore for Indiana. It's obviously not a plug-and-play situation. Mackenzie Holmeses don't grow on trees.
Right.
What is you got Lily Meister, you bring in Caroline Striplin from the transfer portal. What have they kind of looked like here through summer workouts? And what's are you going to have to adjust kind of the game plan of how to play around them?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're exactly right. Mackenzie she's just one of a kind. And we understand that as a staff. We've been blessed with her and her abilities. And whenever we would need a basket, we could go to her. And we are going to miss her, obviously. But I'm going to say this, Lily, she had a great summer. I think the biggest growth for her this summer was her confidence, her belief in herself, her aggressiveness, her leadership. I thought she spoke up a lot on the court. And Lily is very dynamic. I mean, she can shoot the ball extremely well. She is able to put the ball on the floor, but she's also able to score with her back to the basket. I think she's a really great rebounder. And then, she's put in the work this summer and she's gotten a lot better. But also, Caroline's going to be a great addition to us as well. Obviously, she is super experienced in college basketball, and she has just been, her coming into our system, our culture, our program. It's been a very seamless transition. She's just a great kid. She works extremely hard. She's, been in the gym extra, working on her game. But she's going to help us as well. She can score also from the perimeter, but she's very strong around the rim. Again, I think both of them are going to, again, like you said, no one's going to fill Mackenzie's shoes because she's just a unique player in herself. But I think Lily and Caroline are going to be great assets for us this season. I know for a fact they are. And so we're super excited about that.
I can't wait to see the jump that Lily takes this year.
Yeah.
I thought last year you could see it in the time she was on the floor, the jump even from her freshman year. So certainly excited to see that. Someone else I'm excited to see in Cream and Crimson is Shay Cassidy. She comes over from Penn State. Obviously, Sarah Scalia leaves, and we know the impact she had, not only offensively, but Coach Moore and I talked about it a lot. Her defense was so improved last year.
Right.
Does it kind of feel like Shay Cassidy is that similar type of player that could not necessarily equate to Sarah Scalia, but could be kind of that type of player?
Yeah. Again, Shay, I mean, she has been awesome. Another seamless transition. She almost, has felt like from day one, she's, been a part of this program. She works just as hard as our girls do. She's sometimes erring on the side of we have to kick her out of the gym. Her work ethic is awesome. And she can really, really shoot it. And I think, playing in our system and playing with our players around her, she's going to be awesome. It still takes time, obviously, to adjust to what we run and all of that. And, on the defensive side of what we're going to require, but she's had a great summer. She's fully capable on both ends to produce for us. And, she can shoot it, but she's also, she's a playmaker off the bounce. She's very, very, very skilled. So we're super excited, and we think she's gonna be a great asset for us.
Going to be really fun to see her playing at the Cream and Crimson, certainly. Yeah. Khloe Moore McNeil, let's start talking about the returners. Obviously, there's still plenty coming back from last year. Khloe Moore McNeil, from year 1 to year 5, maybe some of the most growth of anybody I've seen in college basketball. Just what she's done with her game over the last 4 seasons to get to this point. What is next for her as a fifth-year senior? What is that next step that she could take this year to elevate her game even further?
Yeah, Khloe has been awesome this summer. I think there's a lot of areas where she's improved, but I think for her, being consistent in terms of her scoring, she's fully capable, and it's more of I believe it's more of a mindset for Khloe is, to stay aggressive. She, can get to the rim. She has, she shot extremely well from the 3. But I think for her, the big step she is going to take is in her mid-range game, being able to knock that down consistently and being willing to shoot it, to look for it, and also just continuing to grow in her reads off ball screens, the second level reads that I feel like has grown in this summer. But I think again the biggest area I saw growth this summer was her leadership, and she's continuing to evolve as a leader, and that's been a joy to watch. And being able to not only get on someone when they're not doing what's expected of them, but also being there, I don't want to say a cheerleader, but telling them, encouraging them, using her voice more, and being there for the underclassmen and kind of guiding them. But I think I believe it's going to be her best season yet. So we're super excited, and yeah.
Boy, best season yet sounds great, because the last couple have been really, really good for her.
But every single year she's just gotten better and better, and I believe that's going to continue.
Do you think that adding somebody with the quickness and the ability to get to the basket like Shay Cassidy plus Lexi in a third year with more experience under her belt, do you think that combination could potentially take some of the pressure off of Khloe to always be kind of in charge of the offense?
Oh yeah. I believe we have a lot of guards that can run the point, but you're exactly right. Whether it's point or off the ball, we have players that are capable of making plays off the bounce, and creating plays for others. I don't know if you're going to ask about her, which you probably will, but I believe Lene, another guard for us, that it had a tremendous summer. She grew a ton, and a lot of it came with just her mindset, and being confident. And all of them work extremely hard and just believing in that, and the work they put in. But Lene is fully capable of scoring at all three levels and also creating for her teammates. And so, like you said, just another guard that can make plays and get to the rim, but can also shoot from the perimeter.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about her and Juliana right now. Then it was on my list. I'm getting too.
It was, but
I'm getting too predictable with Ali apparently. But yeah, I mean, I've heard just kind of being around the team. I mean, everybody's just been talking like Lene's got this offensive game that if she can kind of establish herself defensively, get on the floor a little bit more, she's so dangerous. Yeah. And we saw it a little bit last year. Same with Juliana, and I thought she's kind of one of those people that maybe doesn't necessarily show up on the points column, but is just doing every little dirty thing you need for the team to win. What's next for them in year 2? What do you think is their biggest opportunity for growth this year?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, offensively, I kind of talked about, Lene, but you're exactly right. Defensively, just growing in that area. But I mean, it's an adjustment for all freshmen when they get into college, and especially our defensive system. Just more of the understanding of where they need to be, the expectation from scout to scout, right? She's just going to naturally have a better understanding and expectation, know what the expectations are. But they both, I mean, all of our players honestly had a great summer, and we got better, right? And Jules is just another player for us that we think can make an impact. And you're exactly right. She got better skill wise. And but I believe her biggest asset and for us is she's hard nosed. She'll do whatever you ask her. She'll set screens. She'll rebound. She'll defend. On top of that, she's a really, really good basketball player. And so, like I said, she had a great summer. Is able to shoot it. Also can get to the rim. As a 3-4, she's great. I love her. I love her mentality when she steps on that floor, and she's tough. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to win. And those are the players that, will help us.
2 other big returners. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just give us that additional edge that we need.
Yeah, and I think the 2 other returners, Sydney Parish, Yarden Garzone, I feel like she's only been here. This will be her 3rd year. It feels like she's been here
forever.
Forever, yeah, which is not a bad thing.
No,
I'm not saying that as a negative, but I feel like we kind of know, and getting back to full health, it's going to be big for her and the role that she plays. Yarden is one that I think has the capability of really being a first-team All-Big Ten type of performer. What is that next step for her? What can be unlocked in her game? I know there's a lot going on with her off the court last year, and that's certainly part of the equation. But what can she do on the floor to unlock that next step in her game?
Yeah, I think personally just, she's gotten better as well this offseason, but being able to get to her spots and know, within the offense what that looks like. From the 3, obviously she can shoot it, especially in clutch situations. She's one of the most tough-minded. I mean, she'll show up for any moment. But I think for her, continuing to be able to get to the free throw line, to generate points there for her offensively, allowing her to get downhill, create long closeouts. So she's able to get downhill, create for her teammates. She's such a great passer, and she sees the floor so well. And utilizing her, when they, other teams try to put us smaller guard on her and being able to look at her in the mid post, low post, and allowing her to be a playmaker from there. But like you said, I mean, she's I think one of the best, in terms of her ability to make plays for others. And yeah, I mean, again, she had a great summer as well. She was here, and we're just super excited for her and her next step. And yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's so much talent there, and you could see it unfolding in her first couple of years. Simon Scott Assembly Hall has turned into a huge home court advantage for Indiana. You've gotten to see it firsthand kind of grow since when you got to Indiana to where it is now, where they're having to expand the season ticket section,
Right.
and there's an average of over 10,000 people per game. How much does that help now that you're on the coaching side of things? How much does that help recruiting and kind of appealing to the younger players or even the transfers of, hey, this is the type of atmosphere you're going to get to play in front of day in and day out?
I don't know. I mean, it's big time. It's been really cool for me to see the growth every single year. It's not so cool when, I feel like it was funny because my family could come to a game not too long before tip off and get the same seats every game. And now it's like they got to get, season tickets and in line, with everyone else, and they're not sure where their tickets are going to be, which is great. I tell them all the time, like, this is the best problem to have ever is, you're not going to have the same seat every time, so like it's just been cool to see that, and to see how the community, but the state, I mean, how much they've fallen in love with Indiana women's basketball and how we play and what we're about. And you're exactly right. It's a great recruiting tool. But it's not only that we get the number of fans we get, but it's a type of fans we have and how passionate they are and how well they understand the game and the momentum swings they create for us because they know the game so well. And when they know they need to be extra loud and we send videos all the time to our recruits and like, you want to play in this environment, you want to play in front of our fans, because they're big time, and they're a big advantage for us, and we're super appreciative of them, and we just hope that it continues to grow.
Yeah, Simon Scott has been one of the best places to be in college basketball for a long time on the men's side, but
Right.
now for the women's side, it certainly is a home court advantage. You've been one of those fans before. You grew up in Indiana. You've been in the cream and crimson. You took a detour to South Bend. We'll put that aside, but then you came back here into South Central Indiana. What does it mean to you growing up in Indiana, not that far away from Bloomington, to be able to not only wear the cream and crimson, but now coach for this team that I'm sure meant a lot to you growing up?
Yeah, I mean, it means so much to me. I'm not even being funny when I say, I mean, every day I walk in, I'm like, is this really what I do? Because it doesn't feel like a job. So I'm super thankful. And I just hope that, we continue to, play Indiana basketball, and I know we will. And I'm just proud of our girls for how hard they work and what they put into this and how much it really means to them, and you see that day in and day out with how they approach their craft and how much they put into it, and so I just know that they have done everything they can in terms of their work, and so I'm just excited to see it all play out and to see how we continue to grow practice by practice, game by game this season. And yeah, I'm just, it's hard for me to really put into words how much this means to me, and I'm just going to keep giving it my all. And yeah, enjoy it.
I've been privileged to sit courtside for a lot of Ali Patberg moments, going all the way back to high school. I called your state championship in, oh gosh, that would have been 2015 now. But when you look back at some of your moments at IU, what stands out to you as some of your favorite moments in that basketball journey?
As a player?
Yeah.
Because look, there's a lot as a coach too, but oh gosh, I mean, probably it stinks because in that gym, I mean, it didn't matter how many fans we had. I just felt like it was loud. The way it felt to, win, to get on a swing or a momentum swing where we're, on a scoring run. But there are so many moments, but I think probably the best one just off the top of my head would probably be when we played Princeton and won and went to the Sweet 16 against Connecticut. When Mackenzie ran up the stairs the first time, not the second time, and got to experience that moment with our fans. I don't know if we were sold out, but it felt like it. And just to be able to give that for our fans, but more importantly for Coach Moren and all of our coaches at that time. Those are moments you'll never forget. And I just to be able to hopefully continue to do that over and over, but to do even more, to win a Final Four, to win a national championship. That's why we're doing what we're doing, and one day I believe it will happen.
It's interesting you go to that one. The year before, obviously, was the run to the Elite Eight. But
I wanted to say, but it wasn't in Assembly Hall.
And that's exactly my point, is the impact of getting to play those first couple games at home just makes that even more special. Obviously, the Elite Eight, I'm sure, was amazing. And that Sweet 16 win, you had all of us cheering from home, certainly. But it means more, I would imagine, when there's 100%. 10 to 15,000 Hoosier fans screaming for you in person. And I love that's the one that jumps out to you. We'll let you go on this. Just give me a little outlook, kind of what you're excited about for this upcoming season for the Hoosiers.
That's hard. That's a hard question.
It is hard. I waited for the final question.
I'm excited about everything, but honestly, I'm most excited to see, as a team, obviously our success, but just, all the hard work that's been put in from an individual standpoint, and to see that pay off. Whether it's Khloe, whether it's Lene, whether it's Shay. I mean, you can go all the way down the line and how much they put into this. And just to see it all, play out, but to see their confidence and their belief in themselves. And then, just to see them together, playing to win. I'm excited for it all. Every game, every practice.
I know Hoosier fans are excited for it as well. The one thing I know you're not excited for is to continue to have to talk to me during the season. But I think we've grown on you. You've done 32 minutes with me here today, so I think we're growing on you slowly but surely. Ali, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast. This was a wonderful insight into this Hoosier squad, and I know we're all excited for the season to come.
Yep, thank you.
That was Ali Patberg, assistant coach of the Hoosiers. Remember, we are available on Spotify as well as Apple and our YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. We'll continue to bring you an episode every Monday as we head toward the college basketball season. We're so close. We're getting there. The next episode will be in September, so we're getting closer to that basketball season. For Ali Patberg, I'm Austin Render saying so long for the Dribble.